This is Newton News.
First of all, thank you all for coming. Welcome. As you know, this is our 5th annual flag raising, and we'd like to thank Mayor Fuller. As you know, too, there are 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Only 31 do an Italian flag raising, so thank you. We're going to keep this brief because God is great. He held the rain off, and we're going forward quickly. So I do want to recognize there are lots of city councilors here. There are candidates. I'm not going to name you all, but you are very appreciated for coming to this event. We're going to start with Kevin McNamara to sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed as the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare of bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Out of the park, Kevin. Thank you. I just want to quickly state we have Bob Doherty and Rich Soro passing around little index cards as to the little bit of the history, not just of Italian Heritage Month, but a little bit of, well, a lot of why we celebrate Columbus Day. So with that, I'd like to invite Mayor Ruth Ann Fuller to the mic to speak.
Thanks, Ginny. Hi, everybody. Good to be here. And yes, as Ginny said, thank you to the rain gods for stopping early. And the grass doesn't even feel all that soggy given the torrential rain for a few hours this morning. I am very glad to be here on the side lawn of City Hall with all of you, really to celebrate the long and rich history of Italian Americans and to lift up and celebrate specifically the Italian Americans here in the city of Newton who have enriched our community with culture and traditions and work ethic that is unmatched, and incredible generosity to neighbors and the entire community over so many years. There's also, obviously I'm very much on the local level, but I do want to say there thankfully is an unshakable alliance at the national level between the United States and Italy, and we should celebrate that friendship, that partnership, which we also enjoy here on the local level. So I am always amazed when I hear the stories about the new arrivals from Italy, especially from San Donato, and what that brought to the lake, to Nonantum. Certainly, I see even today, so many years later, the strength of faith in this community, the deep love of family, and the belief in our shared responsibility of taking care of each other And I'll add a particular commitment to public service. We are blessed with having generations of people serve, certainly the city of Newton, who grew up in Nonantum. There's lots of people to thank. Certainly everybody up here who helped bring us together this year and for the 5th year, as well as Maria. I want to give a shout out to Hattie Kerwin Derrick, who always helps us make this happen, to our IT team. We have members of our Newton Police Department led by Chief McBains, who literally have our back tonight. They're here with us today and in all days. I see in front of me the president of the city council, Mark Laredo. I'm sure I saw Stephen Farrell somewhere here. Obviously, there he is. And our city councilor, Maria Greenberg, is with us. But to the 4 people right here also, again, not just this year and not just tonight, but to Terry Sorrow and Ginny Gardner and Al Ceccanelli and Nick Pascarosa. You are seeing representatives of people who make sure that Village Day happens, that Santa shows up for Christmas, that Festa runs beautifully, and that they raise money for scholarships and take care of us. I know there's lots of people in addition to these 4, but they're great representatives. You care so much for our city. I'm honored to be here with you and to be here as that green, white, and red goes up the flagpole right here. Thank you very much.
I'd like to introduce City Councilor Maria Greenberg. She has been here with us every year, and she's right beside us now, and we welcome her.
Thank you, Ginny. Benvenuti a tutti. Welcome. President John Kennedy stated in his book, A Nation of Immigrants, quote, "Everywhere, immigrants have enriched and strengthened the fabric of American life. Italians who came to our country have certainly done that. As I have done in the past, I am dedicating this flag raising to my parents, Anita and Gioia Schiavelli, who immigrated to this country in the early 60s. They were poor, barely educated, and came from a country still ravaged by World War II. They faced many challenges and hardships, but with hard work and perseverance, they were able to buy a home and raise 4 children who became college-educated professionals, and one who even became a city councilor. They came to the United States in the hopes of a better life and future for themselves and their families, just as all immigrants do, no matter their status. I am so proud of my Italian parents and every immigrant who comes to this country and contributes to our society in so many ways, big and small. So today, I honor my parents as we celebrate Italian American Heritage Month. Saluti Italiani.
One of our speakers could not make it this evening, Jimmy DeStefano. He is president of the IAA, so he sent me to wear that hat, and I wear it proudly. National Chapter President of the Italian American Alliance. He sends regards, and he says, "Happy Italian Heritage Month. Stay strong. We will survive. We will flourish. And we are stronger together every day." The other person I would like to mention has been at our flag raising ceremonies, I think the last 4 years he was with us. Passed away in July, president of the Pirandello Lyceum, Dr. Dominic Amara. He worked tirelessly his whole life. He was from East Boston. He gave his all to everything Italian, Italian-American, Christopher Columbus, education, and he is deeply missed. And I would like to honor him today by dedicating my piece of this to Dr. Dominic Amara in his memory. We now welcome Al Cicconelli, member of the Italian Heritage Society Committee. Maybe? Go ahead, Al.
Thank you. Thank you, yes. I would like to start by thanking you all for coming out tonight. This is an important event. Yes, we are here today raising the Italian flag on the ceremonial flagpole. But we are also here to remind our elected officials that we, Italian Americans, are here and we show up. We have a voice and will be heard. We appreciate the recognition of Italian Heritage Month with the flag raising, but this is just a start. We need to bring back Columbus Day. A rash decision with flawed information was used to take away a national holiday, and the lies used to justify this decision have been used to try to make us, the Italian American community, feel bad about being proud of our heritage. We shouldn't feel bad about honoring a great explorer and pious man. When the lines on Adams Street were removed under the cover of night, we were told that we had to follow state and federal highway regulations. If these regulations were enough to disregard 90 years of tradition, why isn't federal guidance enough to return our holiday? Is it because our heritage isn't worthy of being celebrated? With the loss of the Columbus Day holiday, giving the Native American Indians a third holiday, the removal of the Italian colors from Adams Street, and the refusal to landmark Columbus Hall in Nunantum, a place with significant meaning and historical relevance to our community, it seems as though the city doesn't value us or our heritage. As long as I am in Newton, the second Monday of October will be Columbus Day. Thank you, and I hope you all have a great Columbus Day weekend.
I now welcome to the mic our co-chair. No, co-chair. Talking in the present now, Nick. Co-chair of the Italian American Heritage Society of
Took me
Newton.
4 weeks to get her to say it right. Because her last name isn't Italian. Sorry, George. Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm going to deviate a little bit. I just want to make a statement here. Before I start, I would like us to acknowledge 2 great Americans who did so much for this country and whom are not politicians and are no longer with us. One is Martin Luther King, who espoused assertively but peacefully the rights of all human beings to be equal and had a great influence on our country and was successful for civil rights changes. He was a great American. The second was Charlie Kirk, recently assassinated for expressing his freedom of speech rights and encouraging those who disagree with him to have a civil debate. He was also a man of God. Not only was he successful, but his movement is growing through Turning Point USA. Neither of these 2 gentlemen were politicians, but had a great influence on nurturing what is good for this country. And in their efforts, were uniters. Everything they did was to unite. So please, join me in a moment of silence for these 2 gentlemen. Thank you. I just want to say before I get into this, Mayor Fuller, we've been friends for quite a while. I don't know if I'll get a hug after this, but I'm giving you a warning.
I'm going to give you the kiss now.
Kiss of death. Thank you, Mayor. I said that, brother. Buon pomeriggio, benvenuti, come sta? That's all I got. It's great to be Italian and great month for Italian heritage celebrations, and thank you, Mayor, for this opportunity to raise the Italian flag here at City Hall. I, along with Teresa Sorrow, Virginia Gardner, are co-chairs of the Italian American Heritage Society, newly born out of the city's callous and biased punitive action of thinking they could eliminate Columbus Day and replace it with Indigenous Day. Yes, very divisive. For the record, most of us are Indigenous people, and there are at least 2 other days that celebrate Indigenous Day, most notably August 4th. Last year, Mayor, you spoke warmly about me and my fellow Italian Americans, espousing our greatest virtues of warmth, compassion, and respect. You followed the compliments with your hopes that we treat the Indigenous people nicely as we move our parade through Albemarle Road. This is our 5th year of celebrating Columbus Day, and we have been cordial, friendly, and respectful to the crowd at Albemarle. However, your speech of being nice and respectful would best be served if you gave it to the Indigenous people at your fair. They have ridiculed us, berated us, and in some instances blocked our parade from expressing our First Amendment rights with our rolling parade. Most of those people are out-of-towners that probably get paid to create chaos. I don't believe our Newton friends, or most of them, would do that. I read your last 2 newsletters and noticed that you advertised Indigenous Fair Day, but never mentioned the raising of the Italian flag nor recognizing that Columbus Day is still a state and federal holiday. Are the schools closed for Indigenous Day? No, they're closed for Columbus Day. It's not a fantasy to believe that there is a bias against the Italians, as witnessed by recent events by you and the City Council. The City Council chose to eliminate Columbus Day. They did it after a public hearing during the COVID crisis time frame, where most folks were shut in or unable to Zoom in with their opinion. I am now calling for a public hearing on this subject, so those who believe that Columbus is a state and federal holiday should be acknowledged by the City Council and Mayor. Would you all support that and express your constitutional rights for free speech and possible representation at a hearing with the Council? Okay. In Philadelphia, a judge shot down a resolution to eliminate Columbus Day. You all should take a lesson from that. The Adams Street fiasco, where in the dark of night you sent unwilling city workers to scrape off our sacred symbol of our heritage, the green, white, and red stripes. They were there for over 40 years. It was 2 weeks before the St. Carmen Society Festa, one of Newton's biggest celebrations that welcomes all, and the funds raised go to awarding scholarships for deserving young men and women students in the greater Newton community. What were you thinking? I know you thought you were following the law, but after 40 years of those lines, you chose to eliminate them 2 weeks before the Festa. In that instance, you relied on the law, and on Columbus Day, you ignored the law, a state and federally mandated sanctioned holiday. That is selective legislation at its worst. My grandfather, Pasquale Morocco, who came here legally through Ellis Island, started the St. Carmen Society in 1935. I am sure he's not resting in peace with the anti-Italian climate that appears to exist today in our city. You and the council should be chastised for your illegal action by eliminating Columbus Day. We Italians celebrate our heritage through the spirit of Christopher Columbus, and we resent the punitive and divisive action taken by the council and supported by you. Council, keep your Indigenous Day, but I urge you to reinstate Columbus Day. Now, like all cultures, ethnicities, and religions who celebrate in their own way, I urge you all to participate in our rolling parade and rally. We meet at 100 Walnut Street on Monday, October 13th. Setup is at 9 a.m. and we roll at 10. We will have a police escort. Wear or display your red, white, and green. The parade has gotten bigger every year. Pickup trucks will display both American and Italian flags. For people who don't have flags, we will hand out flags. As I mentioned, celebrations of all kinds is what makes our country great, and we will not be denied. The parade will end at Post 440 with a rally and refreshments. Last word about Columbus. Yeah, well, I'll talk faster. A few professors provided information about him to change history. Those professors were not there to witness any of that, nor was I. They made it up. What I know is that Columbus was revered for over a century, and all of a sudden, yes, here in Newton, cancel culture, go to hell. While he was not perfect, he used aggression to save the Mediterraneans from the cannibals who were wreaking havoc among the natives, the indigenous natives. We Italians proudly view our heritage through the spirit of Columbus. In closing, Terry, I'm closing. I want to say, God bless America, which gives us the right to celebrate our heritage, and as good Italians, to you, Christopher, rest in peace, we got your back. Thank you.
My friend Terry Sorrow, Nonitum Neighborhood Association, who was able to get Uncle Joey Cannoli, would like to tell some lovely stories about her mom and growing up Italian.
I'm not going to take too much time. I don't know where to start. I guess you can hear the frustration of us Italians in Columbus Day, and we can agree to disagree. I wasn't there in 1492, and to me it's changing history, and I'm not going to go there. And you know, it's not about the lines right now, and I understand. We appreciate that we can celebrate our Italian-American heritage by raising our flag here in Newton. And a little bit about my mom and my dad and my nonna. I said my grandmother and grandfather were in San Donato, and my grandfather came here and left his wife, my nonna, and the 3 kids. And God love my mother, she must be like me, feisty. So Nonno came here to start a home and to bring Nonna and the 3 kids here. So who was going to go? My aunt Rafaela, she says, I'm not going, I'm not leaving my boyfriend. And Mom says, 13 years old, I'll go. Imagine 13 years old coming from San Geneseo, and I'm sure it wasn't a cruise, it wasn't like a cruise, you know, like a ship liner that we have now today, and sending your kid over 13 years old to meet her dad and to cook and clean. And then Dad started, you know, my grandfather, and then Nonna come over with the kids. And then the love story is my mom and dad came from San Donato, Mom came from San Geneseo. They met at Newton North High School. They wanted to learn English, and that's where they fell in love. And then they got a job, and then they got married, moved to Lincoln Road, where that's where I grew up. And then, how many years later, where do I go? To Cook Street when I get married. So I'm never leaving the lake. Well, maybe when that little guy upstairs says, okay, Terry, you're coming down the lake. But anyway, we all have our stories about our grandparents, how much we loved them, how much we love Italian. And thank God the night that I was born, my mother had a name for me. And thank God, well, I shouldn't say thank God, but she had a dream. But no one knew when I got married, it was pretty funny because I always told everybody that my middle name was Mary. And if anybody knew Father Gallagher, he would say, do you, Teresa, Carmela Gentile? But I told everybody my middle name was Mary. So the night before I was going to be christened, my mother had a dream of Saint Teresa because my name was going to be Camilla because I was born on Christopher Columbus Day and I was going to be called Columbina. So I don't think I would have been too good now if my name was Columbina. But anyways, but it's a little bit about our heritage. We love what we do. We love our Italian. We love our traditions. We try to teach our kids our traditions. Our polenta party with the meatball in the middle, and we try to tell our kids and keep our heritage. Why we love our flag. Why we love Nonna. Why we love spaghetti. What Sunday dinners. Everybody could say about our Sunday dinners how we were all together. Mrs. Pescarosa, I loved her so much. I used to go see her all the time. And one day I went there. I'll never forget it. Class act. Her phone rang, and I'm saying, she goes, Terry, do you mind if I pick up the phone? Smart as a tack. She's like 100 years old. And I'm saying, no, go ahead. So she's over there, and she's giggling, and I'm saying, what is she doing? So it was someone calling up to see if she wanted her chimney swept, and she was leading them on. Finally, she turned around, she says, I don't think you can do that here, she says, because I'm in a nursing home, she went. So it was pretty good. So, I mean, these are the stories that I hope our children and my grandchildren, they listen to us. They listen about the Italian flag. They listen about Columbus Day, how it meant to us. They form their own opinions, but we keep our traditions going. Whether they agree or not, it's Italian, and we love you. And thank you all for coming, and thank you, Mayor Luthien Fuller, for letting us rise the flag. We really appreciate it. Oh, and at the end of it, don't forget, the Northampton Neighborhood Association, my board, we do a lot of fundraisers, and it takes, like Luthien used to say, we have 13 villages, but we're one village. And it takes my board to do our fundraising, and everybody enjoy a cannoli from Joey Cannoli from NNA. Thank you.
So I am here tonight, standing before you, and with me in my heart are my grandparents, my parents, and my aunts and uncles. They were proud to come to America, and they were proud to become Americans. And I am proud to be a descendant of these strong people. Just like all of you, I'm honored to be celebrating Italian Heritage Month in this important flag-raising ceremony, as I said, our 5th year. And again, we are one of only 31 cities and towns out of the 351 in Massachusetts that does this. And again, thank you, sincerely thank you, Mayor Luthien Fuller. This ceremony is about our brave, strong ancestors who made the harsh trip by ship to this country. We are all aware how almost immediately they stepped foot in this country on U.S. soil, they faced discrimination. The immigration people could not spell or correctly pronounce their name, so the immigration officials took this opportunity to change proud family names. Often, they were also called ugly names I will not repeat, words that diminish their value, their worth, and their stature. They handled the unkind behavior and derogatory comments with dignity. As difficult as that may have been, they tried to completely ignore these insults. I honestly can say I cannot picture my Sicilian mother biting her tongue till it bled, but I'm so proud she did. Tonight, we honor our heritage, our ancestors. This ceremony is about Italian pride. It's about our parents, our grandparents, the fulfillment of a dream to come to this country for freedom, a vision of education, future generations. My grandparents would be so proud of their children, grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren. With them came their values: God, faith, family, and country. Their work ethic is the backbone of this culture and this nation. Many people were kind to them, and they provided them a roof over their heads, a job, and our ancestors recognized the importance of helping others and giving back. My parents were no different. My father, Joseph Papa, quietly helped many people in the Waltham Newton community. Many Italian organizations were founded on these important principles and values. Sadly, Italian ancestors were not only discriminated against. The Irish, the Jews, Chinese, blacks were treated unfairly integrated. They all rose above it, just like our ancestors. They went to work and were a part of the fabric of this great country. Tonight, I stand here, and in my heart they are with me, to celebrate our heritage and pride and principles they instilled in us. It is our time to shine. God bless the United States of America, and God bless all of you, and we will raise our flag. Thank you.